Welcome to the Love and Business Podcast with your hosts, Lemoyne and Crystal Robinson. We empower entrepreneurs to thrive in love and business. Join us as we share practical strategies, inspiring stories, and expert insights to help you create generational wealth and live the life of your dreams. Whether you're navigating the challenges of running a business with your partner or seeking to strengthen your relationship while building your empire, we've got you covered. Tune in and learn how to dominate in love and business. Be sure to like and share the broadcast on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also join our email list by going to inloveandbusiness.com. Enjoy the show. Hey, we're live.
Yes, thanks for joining us for another edition of Love and Business Podcast.
Yes.
As the intro stated, I am your host, Lemoyne Robinson, joined as always.
Yes, by me.
Phenomenal, outstanding, prolific, phenomenal woman of excellence. Excellence.
Finish the sentence.
Crystal D. Robinson.
All right now.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. We should have had the applause button in.
No, I did the intro. So, I mean, a second intro for me is a bit much.
Oh, it's like a Baptist church then.
So,
The welcome.
Welcome once,
welcome
welcome twice.
Yeah, that one.
Oh, yeah. That didn't make any sense to me why people would do that. But I guess it was just a thing to say. But I think they said that at pretty much all black churches.
Yeah, it was.
If it was a program,
yeah.
You were going to hear welcome once,
Welcome twice.
welcome twice. You're welcome. Welcome.
That's it. So to kick off your shoes and make yourself at home and all that. What's going on, Tracy? Thanks for jumping on.
Yeah, thank y'all for coming through. Hit that hashtag live. Tell us where you're watching from. Hit the share button. Share it with your friends. Tag some people in here. So we can have a good conversation tonight.
I saw Tracy was on the beet juice, the gold beet juice earlier.
Finally, he's made the rounds to the goal.
Juice.
I'm telling you, I believe that beets are going to sell out all across the world because of me.
Well, we're going to grow some more.
Well, yeah, I said sell out. Now they can't get any from my garden, but I think beets are going to start selling out across the globe, and it's because of Beets by Crystal. I got text messages today of people sending me empty glasses of beet juice. From their first try at beet juice.
You can tell that what was in the cup.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Oh man, the cup up to my just red.
There's some residue gonna be left.
Chandra was posting today. She had started juicing her stuff. It was a lot of people been juicing this week. So I guess folks had to get all the stuff in the house and then knock the dust off the box after about a week or so because the book been out for a couple weeks. And people are just now starting to unbox their juicers and do some of the recipes. So yeah.
Man, I will tell you, I definitely was made a believer this week, man. I was having some stomach issues.
And, look at this. Hold on. Is this a testimonial?
This is a testimonial.
Okay.
Hey, I
breaking news.
Home from work.
Breaking news.
Do we
have a breaking news button?
No, I don't think so. You hadn't programmed.
Gosh darn it. Breaking news.
That charcoal juice was
say it ain't so.
Yeah, no, I was having my stomach was just I don't know what was going on. But,
I think he probably ate some bacon on lunch. And he did not want to reveal the truth.
What I really think is I ate some old cabbage. That's what I really feel like.
That cabbage was not old.
Well,
I made it on Sunday. You ate it on a Tuesday. That ain't old cabbage.
Was it Sunday that you made it?
Yeah, I made cabbage on Sunday. You ate it on Tuesday. I ate cabbage on Sunday and Monday, and I was fine.
I don't know. I think I ate some old cabbage.
I'm sorry.
Fresh cabbage still, you know what I'm saying? It go have a little something going on with your stomach.
There are people in the comments that know that you have a sensitive stomach.
What?
Yep.
Anyway, man,
you have a sensitive stomach.
My stomach wasn't feeling the best. Okay. My stomach wasn't feeling the best. Crystal hooked up a good charcoal, good mixture of that charcoal juice or whatnot. What do you call it?
It was the charcoal juice.
Yeah, charcoal
I think the name of it in the book is like Midnight Zest or something like that.
Yeah. It had me feeling sharp, man, within about 20, 30 minutes.
Well,
I was feeling like,
the people in my house
like I was brand new.
Starting to drink the juices.
Yeah, no,
everybody's a believer.
It had me feeling good. It had me feeling normal again. You know what I'm saying?
I'm glad to hear that.
Stomach wasn't feeling out of sorts.
Yeah. Well, Jaleesa says that cabbage will do that to your stomach no matter what day you eat it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Here's the deal. When we eat so much junk food, what really happens is we don't know how our body should be responding. right?
to the process.
Because what's really happening, and it's the truth be told for all of America. Listen in, lean in. You're constipated. And you're walking around here with your constipated cells because you won't eat enough vegetables, you won't drink enough beet juice. You're not allowing the good nutrients of the good food to enter into your body. And so when you have regular bowel movements, all of a sudden you think you have an upset stomach.
Well, I think I know the difference.
Amen. Today, we're not going to be constipated anymore. We're going to eat healthy.
Well,
we're gonna drink good juices.
Drink them. Mm-hmm.
We're not gonna sneak and eat bacon on your lunch break, and then have your wife thinking that it was her cabbage that caused the turmoil in your stomach.
Well,
we're not gonna do that. But thank God that I had some ingredients to make him some charcoal juice.
The swine ain't.
So you did eat bacon?
I didn't. I'm just saying. But even if I did. You know what I'm saying? That ain't what do it.
Okay.
Man, I'm just saying.
Okay.
Well,
I'm just letting y'all know you're constipated. And that's the reason why a lot of y'all don't understand that you're supposed to have multiple bowel movements in a day. You're eating all this junk and you don't even know that you actually are supposed to have 2 and 3. So he over here thinking he's had an upset stomach because he done went to the bathroom on this day 3 times.
Yes.
That's regular. Okay. It is not regular to either not have a bowel movement or to have just one in a day.
Your stomach ain't supposed to feel the way it, you know what I'm saying, like upset.
Now I'm not saying it was supposed to be upset,
right?
But I am saying that as a human, we should have multiple bowel movements in a day.
Yeah. I think I know what a regular verse is. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I fixed it with the charcoal juice. Period.
Yeah, that's what we was getting at.
See that?
Lord.
Don said teach him. I know. Yeah, I'm trying to help the people. I'm not trying to just teach. I'm trying to help all of the people.
Yeah, the charcoal juice absorbed all of the bad.
Lisa said you're going to go 12 times a day if you only do fruits and vegetables.
You ain't lying.
That's a nice little segue into our Prosper Well journey.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
We're on a Prosper Well journey this month for the entire month of April. I do believe in a very few short amount of hours, hopefully, at least before Saturday. We'll have the opportunity to invite other people into our Prosper Well journey, where you'll actually get to eat all fruits and vegetables with us as well and prosper.
What a luxury!
Well, I didn't even invite you.
No, I was just saying, but what a luxury to even be invited.
I didn't even invite. Were you going to? Because you ate them turkey wings I cooked yesterday, just as nice.
They was busting too. I'm talking about that wingtip be where it's at.
See. So it sounds like Lemoyne don't want to participate in Prosper Well. No, but when the invitation is extended, it is yours to accept and or deny. Yes. But we're going to invite you to prosper well with us for the rest of the month of April and beyond. Mm-hmm. It's super simple to do. We're just simply living on the Daniel fast diet or regimen, if that's what you want to call it, for the rest of the month. We're also committed to walking a minimum of 20 minutes a day. Doesn't have to be fast, doesn't have to be slow. It is at the pace of which you require. The only thing we ask is that you don't have music or your phone or anything like that going on. It's just you and the Lord. Just hear what he has to say. And the third thing that we ask that you do is set a wealth goal, something that you want to accomplish in those 30 days so that you can have total life prosperity. So we'll invite you guys on the bandwagon. I'll post a link or so whenever it's available for you guys to do so. But anyone is welcome.
Is there like a
there is a workbook that's going to be available for those that want to participate inside of the Prosper World journey. You'll have access to the workbook where you can log your journey, and it'll give you all the steps and instructions and scriptures and whatnot that you would need to participate.
There you go.
Yeah, and there's going to be a Facebook group too.
If you want to prosper well, put it in the chat. Prosper well.
Amen. Well, a lot of people that's on here right now are already prospering. I think you're the only one that's probably not that's here.
Oh, yeah.
Currently. That's not in as far as what I can see.
I got you. Yeah.
But you're welcome to put Prosper Well in the chat.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm gonna pray and eat sensibly. I got you. Yeah.
It's yours to accept.
Yeah.
Or deny. That's all I got, people. And I think this is great because this helps us to segue. Y'all need to hit the share button and tag some people here because people asked us to do this segment here, and we're gonna do it. But I just think that
I was thinking the same.
Your desire to not type prosper well is exactly a part of our conversation.
Well, I don't have
here.
A desire to not type it. I'm just not to type it.
You're just not going to participate.
Well, okay.
And you have the choice to prosper well or not.
Yes, I do.
Now, there's nothing in between that. You just have the choice.
It's
to
not
prosper well.
It's not a
or not.
Yeah, it's not a prosper good. It's prosper well or nothing. Is that what you're saying? I just want to make sure I'm clear.
Do you want to just prosper, or would you want to prosper well?
Well, I want to make sure that I'm understanding what you're saying.
I'm saying simply, you have the choice to prosper well or not.
Okay.
You have the choice to participate with us or not.
Yes, I do have the choice.
Yeah,
the choice.
And he chose not to type prosper well in the chat. So anyway, we kind of briefly discussed. Oh wait, what? Breaking news! I think we may have a typer. This is not a forced type, is it? Did the Lord tell you to type that?
I mean, it's
Did you even spell it right?
Yeah.
That's like paper whale.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna let the Lord deal with you. Let the Lord use you. Okay.
Get this paper whale. That's what we go.
All right.
Oh, man.
And therein lies our topic for tonight. Are you in or are you out?
Are you in or are you out? But I go ahead.
Clearly you're out. And that is okay, because the way you murdered those wingtips yesterday proved that you were out.
Listen, every tub got to sit on its own bottom.
Actually, the tub typically sits on the floor.
That's what you see. But it sit on its bottom.
It's on the floor.
Okay. Yeah. I'm all right.
Two totally different perspectives.
It is well with my soul.
Amen. And so he's out. I'm in. And
10 toes down.
Yeah. And that's pretty much I mean, if we can be transparent about it, there's a lot of times where I've been in and you've been out.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Depends.
Depends on whether we eating chicken or turkey or fat of the beast or not.
No, I think it's much like salvation. You can't have it for someone else.
Oh, you exactly right about that.
And
that's probably why your stomach toe up and mine not. But we're not gonna talk about that.
Well, it is what it is. But yeah, I think it's one of those things. Fasting or just being a part of a community or making a commitment to anything. I think when it's strongly influenced by outside force, then it's still the real work isn't being done on an internal perspective.
Well, absolutely but that's definitely not what I was referring to.
Well, I'm just saying, just in general, just in totality. You know what I mean? Just in totality. So, you could want to do something for an extended period of time. That's just like, playing sports or something like that. Your coach may be the influence that makes you want to work out or run or whatnot. But then at the very moment that you no longer are required to do that, now you revert back. And I just think that prosper well is so much deeper than that. You know what I mean? I just think that the journey that you guys are on is like holistically, coming up from the roots of it. You know what I mean? So
not surface. So surface level people couldn't not eat meat for a month.
Well, it's not that. It's what is it doing? A surface level person just may not eat meat. Right. Whereas someone that is literally doing the prosper well for the reasons that you guys are doing it, they're probably changing on a spiritual level, on a nutritional level, and so much more.
But what if? Because
that's like somebody fasting and not praying. It's more of a diet. Maybe. You know what I'm saying? It's more of a nutritional adjustment.
Or maybe that's their first, introduction into, learning how to, like, would I say to somebody, and I've heard people say it, if you're going to only be on a fast and not pray, then, don't do it. But what if that's their introduction, to like level one? What if them entering into the phase of, well, hey, for 30 days, I actually, did the Daniel fast for 30 days. Did they pray? Maybe a couple times, but what happens if that's the introduction for that person?
Well, I think that it does form a level of discipline.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For sure. You know what I'm saying? But that
and then the next time they could do it better.
Right. But why? Why? What form? What discipline is that? What is that discipline being attached to? You see what I'm saying? Because the discipline that you guys are, so it could be a discipline to say, hey, I'm a fast because I want to be a bodybuilder. And that's what I am going toward, right? So now my nutritional discipline is now geared toward something that is superficial.
But that's not what we're talking about.
That's not what we're talking about. But what we're saying is, yes, someone that's not on level 10 could certainly fast, and you know, and it not be detrimental to them. But what is it? You guys not walking with your phones and saying, hey, I want to talk to the Lord, and just being
absolutely
quiet and listening, you know what I'm saying, or whatnot. That's more of a deeper spiritual connection.
And you're saying that it takes a special level person to do that? Because I'm going to combat that thought.
You can, somebody can do it. It doesn't take a special level person.
What is a phone?
You ain't gotta be a super
for 20 minutes. I can't be without my phone.
Well, walking. You got some people. It's a part of the objective, isn't it?
It is,
right?
So that we can have quiet time with the Lord,
right? So without love, without hate, there's no real meaning for love. I see where you're going. The rule of saying, "Hey, I'm going to be intentional about setting it aside."
It's a part of the commitment.
It's a part of the commitment, exactly.
And I'm saying that anyone can do that.
Yes, anyone can.
And that's not to say that you have to be on some high spiritual level to be able to accomplish that. And I'm also not saying that doesn't mean that everybody that's participating will get it right for all of the 30 days. But what I am saying is that just make the commitment and see what happens. Like, I wouldn't say I'm not going to participate because I don't think I'm at that level yet. Well, what if you got 3 days in? That's better than what you would have ever done. What if you get 5 days in? What if it's just a day? That's better than what you've done before.
Okay, well, if that's the case, then I can prosper well for a meal.
You could prosper well for 30 days.
I could.
If anybody you decide that you want to prosper well for 30 days.
That's my point. If you decide, but you have to make that up in your heart, right? You have to believe in your heart, confess with your mouth.
Yes.
Right? Right? Not the confession of the pastor, not the confession of whomever. You have to believe that. So
I totally get it.
Within this journey, if you feel like just like
we invited people, we didn't force people.
She was made whole because of her faith when she touched the hem of that garment.
I get that, but I think you're going so far away.
But if prosper well, if you're searching for something and this is the initiative that catches your spirit, you know what I'm saying? Then it's like, hey, this is my journey. I'm going. Yes.
So now a person has to be looking for something to join?
I think that it definitely helps. I ain't saying you have to be. I don't think you have to be, but I think when you are in search of something and then this comes up, this could be that ram in the bush.
Or maybe you're not looking for anything. Maybe you're wandering. And you just want some direction.
Well, that's too, but you're still looking for something.
Maybe not.
If you wandering and you want direction, you just unclear.
But I'm saying from the perspective of, hey, I was wandering around, however you want to see that. And then, this prosper well looks like something interesting. Let me see. It doesn't necessarily mean that you know that that's what you want. But you
gotta know that you want it because it's a commitment. Is
so
what
you're
I'm saying.
that your initial pause to not wanting to prosper well or not is because you're not necessarily searching for anything, or you don't feel like you on that level yet.
I don't think it's either of those. And both of those I feel like are in a very negative connotation.
Oh my God. I am asking questions.
I know, but I'm just making statements.
Just like the word lie is negative?
It always absolutely a negative.
Okay. So I ask questions. You can say no or yes or no.
Yeah.
However you want to say that.
No, I think that when it resonates with you from a spiritual standpoint and you are moved to do so, you know what I'm saying? Then that's when the manifestation, or that's when it really starts to happen and you start to see the change, because there's going to be, just like Jesus was tempted in the wilderness, you know what I'm saying? But he had a mission. He was looking, he wanted something.
I'm not saying that I'm forcing people to join.
I ain't saying that you're forcing anybody. I'm saying
that I'm giving an invitation.
Is yours to extend and theirs to extend?
Correct. For people to participate, which is why I said you have the choice to prosper well or not.
Absolutely.
You don't have to participate.
Yeah, for sure.
But the whole reason why we're inside of the conversation is because, we mentioned last week that there have been, several situations, especially with us, where one is on, is on a trajectory to a direction and the other is not.
Right.
And so we felt like it was important to, have dialogue and open conversation, as you can see we're already doing. From two different perspectives, right? In our, path, it can, it can be obvious in some spaces, and in other spaces, maybe not so much. But for our path, typically I'm ready to go forth and let's go be great. And in other cases, Lemoyne is probably like, well, let's look at it for a little while, see if we want to go out there. And so we have
make sure we on the path.
Yeah, we have two different perspectives and things, because last week we were talking about I think it was like the network marketing thing and all of that, and know how I was
a little reluctant.
He's skeptical.
Onset,
and then I'm pretty much open to try whatever. Doesn't really matter to me, because I'm like, you either win or you learn. One of the two. Lemoyne is more so like, either we win or we finna lose big. We have to be cautious. You're skeptical sometimes.
Yeah, I'd say reluctant. But yeah, I'm very okay. You can call it 6 or half a dozen.
We know you want to say. You know you skeptical.
I mean,
get up here and act like you ain't.
It's one thing to say, like, somebody doesn't want to grow at all. But it's another thing to say, I think that this may be the best route to grow based on my perspective. Growth happens in both environments, right?
Well, the reason why
how it happens.
Correct. I get that. But the whole reason why we wanted to have the conversation wasn't because you're against growth.
Right.
We want to have the conversation because a lot of times I was for growing and you really weren't
in a way that I questioned.
Or, hey, we're okay where we are. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, I never was that.
You never was okay with where we were?
No.
But you were against not doing it the way that I proposed.
Yes, I questioned it.
Skeptical.
Okay, you can call it what you want.
But the reason we have to, I guess, at least dialogue through the conversation is because it gave strain to the relationship. Because in a lot of spaces, I'm okay with saying, oh, okay, well, we can try this new path. And some cases you're like, oh, okay, it's not okay. But I guess we probably need to, even before we're saying, hey, I'm skeptical of it. It's not that I don't, want to do X, Y, and Z, but I don't really know if this is the route. Even before that, there was a different space where I'm legit wanting to, like, learn stuff, grow, do different stuff, whatever. And there is no motion, right? So there's different phases, of the growth process or the growth in our relationship and through entrepreneurship.
Okay.
And in beginning stages of that, it really was me saying, I want to do something different and better. And you saying, I don't see what's wrong.
Well,
I'm saying beginning now.
Okay,
I'm not nowhere near.
Yeah, no. So let's take it from because I think the first onset of it was spiritual growth, right? You know what I'm saying? I was like, man, okay, you want to go to church, and at one point we just wasn't going to church.
We wasn't.
When we were just in college, and like we were just like, man, it's. Yeah, I don't like church, type deal. We can develop our relationship on our own, type deal.
Basically,
we good people,
we ain't got to go to church to love the Lord.
Yeah, we ain't got to go to church to love the Lord.
Now,
I fed the homeless people. I fed the man by the dumpster all the time.
Lemoyne was looking at what is it? Acts. You was trying to get into heaven off of the things that you was doing.
All right. Well, I don't know but I just didn't think it took, what I'm saying, all that. So
what does that mean?
What's that?
Going to church, because you said all of that. So clearly that meant something to you.
Yeah, because people do church different.
Well, we talking way back though.
Yeah, we are, but we
didn't think we were supposed to be doing church that way.
Yeah, that way. Which then I didn't know another way to do it.
Because that's all we knew.
That's all we knew. So
I'm not doing that.
Yeah, so we started going to First Baptist.
Yeah,
right. What I'm saying? It was the other persuasion church, and they were out in 45 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it was like a teaching, like a lesson. You go in, you learn a little something, and hey, boom, you out. Let's go to Piccadilly, and have lunch.
You sound like But sound like old Deacon.
Go to Piccadilly. It was Western Sizzle for us though.
We didn't have no pick. We had Western Sizzle. Yeah. Keep going.
Yeah, so that was so then we started doing that, going to church like that. But when you really started, I guess, going a little bit deeper, when I
really started saying I believe in the Lord,
speaking in tongues, and you know what I'm saying,
he ready to walk out the door.
I wasn't ready to walk out the door. I just was like, okay, that ain't, you know what I'm saying, like, oh, that's what you want to do. You know what I'm saying, like, oh, okay, cool, I'm fine. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the level of spirituality.
When you say I'm fine from where you was at then, it is comical.
Man, look, yeah. Well, hey, I wouldn't listen. I thought, okay, if I had my little drink, you know what I'm saying, and I was chilling in my recliner, I wouldn't bother nobody. Wouldn't nobody bother me.
That boy said I was fine. Going on to be better. You need to be better. But that
was my lens of spirituality. That was my lens. That was the level of which I saw it, right? You know, and yeah, I'm gonna speak English, plain English, you know what I'm saying? But the running around and going and you know,
English.
all that, right? And I was just like, man, it didn't really. So, you know, I would see, okay, you reading and watching these videos and stuff like that, and it was cool. You know, I wasn't gonna stop you. I just wasn't necessarily. But you were. I just felt like that.
But you were.
That I didn't have to necessarily do it that way. But then when I felt like I did have to do it, or not necessarily do it that way, but then it was like, okay, well, I don't really want my wife to be on the journey by herself, or as a husband, you know.
But now that's what I would describe as reluctant, right? So I think that the two for me are different. Like in this space, you were going, but reluctant, right? You were only going because you didn't want to be left.
No, I was
in a different space.
I was going because I didn't think I was being left from anything. Let me say that.
So why did you feel like you needed to start the journey?
I wanted to make sure that our relationship wasn't. I could see some of the areas in which it was strained, right? Because you'd be like, "Oh, well, you ain't got it," and I'm like, "All right, then, yeah, bet. All right, I'm gonna go." You know what I'm saying? Let's go.
But that's reluctant, is it not?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I'm cool. I said I was reluctant. You know what I'm saying? I believed, but I just was like, okay, I let my faith carry me on. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gotta believe and do what you're doing. When you first, I mean, I paid my tithes, but I was sending my tithes back to.
I know this live, but I swear, do you smell something burning? Cause I'm telling you, I think our children might be burning something down there.
I smell something.
I'm trying to. Okay, my mama, call my kids right now and ask them what are they cooking. Because we way too far up in here to be smelling what we smell.
I smell like popcorn.
You think they done burnt some popcorn?
Yeah, it's lovely.
It better be burnt popcorn, but we need to know. I'm sorry, but I smelled something. You know, my nose is out there.
But I'm with you. But just like what Brandon is saying, every Sunday it was like timed. When the preacher at 15 minutes to 1, when they start going,
that's the people style of preacher,
what he said and what he gonna do.
All right.
What your tile at? Let me see.
No,
but that was that. And the same lady, you know what I'm saying? It was like the Holy Ghost go jump on row 3 first. And then it's gonna go to the choir stand.
What that got to do with us?
That was my perspective.
I'm like, land the plane.
That was my perspective. So when I saw that, it was all, you know, a fraud. It was all.
So then help. Let's help. Mm-hmm. Let's help people through the process of this, right? Because, okay, you saw that, right? But do you not know me?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you think then, right? Because if you could dial it back, did you think then that I was going to become one of those people?
Yes. 100%.
Do you hear that? So then
I didn't think you was gonna be. So the first time that you ever told me that, like somebody laid hands on you and you,
I fell all the way out.
Yeah, you went to another place. I ain't even want to say you fell out. You went to another place.
I fell all the way out.
You went to another place. I was like, okay, I believe for real now because I don't think you make it up.
Oh, well, you know so you just said so.
That was when you went to a conference in Alabama.
I went to the
conference.
Know what I'm saying?
I still remember.
Heal for real.
Yeah, because I was like,
heal for real. Heal for real.
I said, man.
So I'm saying all of the theatrics that you saw. So me going through my deal then helps you to transition mentally because you're like, well, surely.
No, I had my own experience.
So no. I'm saying you're saying because I came back and said I had an experience, you then believe that, oh, well, maybe this stuff is real.
Well,
real for me.
No, well, I knew God was real.
That I ain't talking about that.
Okay, all right, just the experience of it all. Yeah. I just was like, I was like, okay, well, tell me what it was like. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
you did ask, and I tried to explain to the best of my ability.
Because I'm a logical guy.
You very are. We're gonna tell y'all about this time that the prophet talked to us too. And I'm Lemoyne's perspective of it was funny.
Yeah. But I'm a logical guy. I'm analyzing the whole thing. You know, I'm analyzing. So I'm like, hey, tell me what happened. You know,
they cooked the egg.
They just ate sushi.
First of all, why are they on the stove? This is crazy, Mama. This is what happens.
They know we captivated
when you don't come here. When you know they on spring break, why didn't we take them somewhere? This is amazing. When do they get the opportunity to cook on an open flame when we not around?
Look at our girls grow up.
I don't have that perspective.
Yeah, so you gotta reframe that.
I don't.
You see the independence that you're teaching them.
I tell you what, they gonna be independent, looking for somewhere to live. The children cook.
We have. I'm talking about really good insurance. We really do.
Lemoyne, I want my house.
We'll get it better. But I mean, yeah. So when you had that experience, you came back, and I'm like, all right, well, tell me about it. Like you did what? Like for real? They call it. They said it was the carpet ministry. You know what I'm saying? That's what they started calling it, the carpet ministry.
I was a member of the carpet ministry for some time.
So I was, but I wanted to know because every experience I'd had up to that, I was like, look at her now, you know, and then it's the same person.
Wait a minute, what that mean? Look at her now.
I ain't talking about you. I ain't talking about you. I'm talking about the other individuals. Then you see something after the fact, you know, because you know who this person is, you know what I'm saying? And then you see them, you know, they out there doing their thing or whatever. You're like, man, she was just running around the church. You know what I'm saying? Shouting and then passed out and everything, then hit the air conditioner.
But what does somebody else's situation have to do with your own internal perspective of relationship?
That's how I scaled it, because that's what I saw. So that's what I understood religion and faith and relationship with God to be. And then as I got older, I was like, man, it's like wrestling. It's fake.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying? This is what they do.
Oh gosh.
This is what they do. You know what I'm saying?
You know, I'm glad that you're actually verbalizing.
Y'all
I'm not saying that we didn't, but I'm also saying that for me, those type of theatrics or situations didn't stop me from seeking a more in-depth or intimate relationship with God.
Well, I first had to understand that there was more to seek.
That's fine. We're getting that, but we're talking from a relational perspective.
Yeah.
I'm saying I saw all of that stuff that you saw.
Mm-hmm.
And then I decided that I wanted my own relationship.
Okay.
Whole point of us having the conversation is because you have couples, whether they're in business or not, they're in relationships that are in turmoil because you have one saying, I want to grow and develop in an area, whether it's personal, professional, or spiritual.
Right.
And the other partner is saying, I ain't about all that.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, give the people that part, you know what I'm saying, so they can intellectualize like how we're able to grow through that.
Yeah.
So I'm saying for me, I had personally decided, look, I think I want to grow and develop here. And you're saying first phase, you felt like it was spiritual, that I started to, desire a more intimate relationship with God. So then I start to seek after things that you're not necessarily seeking after at the time.
Right.
And so that did, create a divide, because in my immaturity of wanting to grow and understand more about the word and, build a deeper relationship with God, I am thinking that it needs to happen a certain way.
Yeah.
Meaning, hey, you need to do that too, because this is going to be good for you too.
Yeah.
Versus, singularly focusing on me building my relationship. So point number one there is everybody ain't going to necessarily go on the journey at the same pace or even at all with you. Right. That's what I'm seeing, obviously, hindsight.
Yeah.
I don't want to build in, like the fluffy pieces of it, but it really was, I'm wanting to grow and develop spiritually, but I was doing it from a come here now with me, you know what I'm saying, type of perspective. So now it's a, a condemning perspective, versus me actually living it out. You know what I'm saying, in front of my spouse. Now, I'm not saying that that's the space that everybody goes, because I know that there are still some people that are literally saying, I'm going to go internal first, and the spouse is still not participating, and that can be frustrating, right? To not have somebody journey with you. I think I started to go in that direction because it was frustrating. I was seeing that I was growing and developing and learning new things. And what was really happening was my fear was manifesting in frustration. When the root of it was, I was afraid that I'm about to go to a place and you're not going to go. Clearly that's going to cause a divide, right? But at such a young age, I'm not able to articulate that, and not from a emotional perspective. I'm not able to, verbalize or express and say, hey, I'm not saying that you have to go, but I am saying that Crystal 1.0 is about to transition to 2.0.
Yeah.
I did not know the words for that, could not verbalize that. And I think on the flip side of things, from your perspective, you may have started to see Crystal 2.0, and you probably fate came along because you didn't want me to, run away at that time frame. Yeah. So obviously we're now transitioning into that space, obviously in an unhealthy way.
Right. Because I thought that's what support looked like. You know,
going whether you don't want to go or not.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Just like, okay, well, that's the sacrifice. You know what I'm saying?
That's unhealthy, people.
Yeah. One of my college professors told me Jesus was the king, but he wore a crown of thorns. And as a husband, that you are going to suffer. Yeah. So you're going to do some stuff that you just don't want to do. And I just chalk that up as one of them, just like, okay, well, yeah, that's it. You want to, okay, bet, let's go. You know what I'm saying? From a spiritual perspective, not that I didn't, believe in spirituality or God or anything like that. I just didn't think that it had to be done in that way, or capacity or anything like that.
Yeah, and I wasn't.
Yeah.
But I think I found a different path.
Yeah.
To go down. But I also think, from that, because we initially talked about having a growth mindset or a fixed mindset. And I think where you were living at in that space was a fixed mindset to say that if we went after God, it had to look like the theatrics. And it doesn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, it can look, differently. Like, you can grow and develop a relationship and not participate in those theatrics. And so sometimes, when whether we recognize it or not, if we're inside of a fixed mindset, for him, he's only thinking that if my wife is now deciding that she's gonna go after God, then I guess the next thing that's gonna come up is all stockings and all skirts. You know what I'm saying?
I wasn't thinking
I'm just saying, like, there's an extreme, because they ain't finna be like Q roll 3 and I'm gonna fall out. That is not what happened. It's not what happened. And so I'm just saying that I'm thinking that me, when really and truly he didn't. As a matter of fact, I was still figuring it out, you know what I'm saying, in that space. But I think what we were both recognizing in that phase, of our relationship was, at least for me, hey, I'm transitioning and changing, and reluctantly in some spaces, I think you were coming along, but in other spaces, I think you really did want to stay the same and just didn't know how to say that.
Yeah, for sure. You know what I'm saying? Like, case in point, when you stop drinking,
oh man,
you know what I'm saying? Then it was like at first, so she stopped drinking originally when she got pregnant with our first daughter. Then she told me it was rude for me to have a drink in front of her, and and she couldn't have a drink. And I was like, oh, okay, then cool.
I just drink in the back.
Yeah. I was like, well, no, I just stopped drinking. I didn't really, but then it transitioned to more of a spiritual reason why she stopped drinking. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, hey, I ain't really, you know what I'm saying?
Because I had Caitlin, at that point. And then I was like, I can't drink.
Exactly. She don't really want. I'm like, man,
supposed to drink.
Like we ain't just out here.
Now he's like, hold on, now I could do 9 months, but you talk about a lifesaver,
man. What? You know what I'm saying? Because I just wanted to chill. You know what I'm saying? Like, we wasn't out drinking in bars or anything like that.
We did.
You know what I'm saying?
Several times.
Man, like, I was too cheap to drink at the bar all the time. You know what I'm saying?
But you would get one and babysit. But before we had kids, we would go out, on Bourbon Street and all that all the time. Now.
With friends. And I know all the time, Chris.
On weekends?
All the time.
It was enough. is what I'm saying.
2 or 3 times a year.
Oh my Lord. Lemoyne
Name a club on Bourbon Street.
I'm not saying we went in there.
We just were walking down Bourbon Street.
No, we would go get the little hand grenades and stuff like that.
With people like come in town. When Steve Kamika
man. He got this man right here. I'm trying. We so saved now, y'all. We done forgot how unsaved we used to be. But continue.
Now we done some crazy stuff, you know what I'm saying? But I ain't never really drank it dry. You know what I'm saying?
Look at him now. I ain't never now.
98, but the point was like I just wanted to just be able to just chill at the crib, have a drink. And that's
said y'all didn't take me.
And Crystal was like, man, that's rude of you. You know what I'm saying? To drink in front of me or whatever. I didn't really want to go on that journey, but I said,
never did.
You know, I said, hey, you know, all right, if that's what, you know what I'm saying, if that's what relationship is, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I care enough about her to, you know, to not have to partake in that. You
Definitely the wrong journey for both of us.
Exactly, right? So this goes right back to the fast. My desire to drink didn't leave. You know what I'm saying? Because it wasn't detrimental to me. You know what I'm saying? I was just chilling. I'm sitting at the crib and I'm just chilling, flipping through the channels. You know what I'm saying? May have 1 or 2 on the weekend. I was responsible, going to work every day. You know what I mean? Wasn't doing nothing outlandish. Didn't have no DUIs or nothing. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't spending money we ain't have on no alcohol. It just was the fact that she was saying, yeah. And I agreed. I agreed. I shouldn't have never agreed, but I agreed. You know what I'm saying?
Reluctantly.
And see, what happens is, Yolanda, you asked a little bit earlier, if what did you say? What was wrong with it? What was wrong with it was the fact that I agreed and I didn't really. So then my behavior, my heart didn't agree.
Or he agreed in front of me, but behind me he did not agree.
I still wanted to do what I wanted to do.
Now we have, lies and different things that are happening in the background that I'm thinking are not happening, but they're actually happening.
Exactly. So
but not being able to, like provide an environment of safe communication is what started to, transpire from that. So when you're in a relationship and you got one spouse that is wanting to grow or change or do things better or differently, because it may not always be better. Right. It could just be different.
Yeah.
And then you have the other spouse that is either coming along reluctantly or lying and saying they want to participate. It's unhealthy. It's also unsafe.
Especially
for the relationship.
when you coming at them in a way that's like more condemning than anything. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it'd be double-minded essentially. Yeah.
Absolutely. And so then when you're asking questions and you get either half truths or not truths at all, that starts to create, a very uncomfortable space, to say the least. And so a lot of people, they say, okay, well, yeah, we want you guys to have a conversation. But the truth of the matter is everybody, ready to actually do a self-assessment to that degree? Because the self-assessment says, why do I want Lemoyne to come along? And for the most part, what I was thinking in that time frame was, well, I want him to be better too. Well, hey, I want him to grow too. When if I could, peel back all of the layers, it could have been, hey, I want to control him too.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't that, I wanted him to grow or that I wanted him to develop. And the truth of the matter is, I feel like some parts and pieces of that were there. Like I did want him to be a better person. Like I did want him to grow spiritually. I did want him to be into personal and professional development, right? Like I didn't want him to say, at the dinner table, we there with a couple other couples and him acting like he read a book when really I done told him the highlights of it and now he faking it out. Did I want that? Absolutely not. But at the end of the day, did I want to control him more than I did him to actually grow and develop? And that's the self-assessment questions that, you would have to ask. And then he would have to ask, right? Did I really want to, appease her? Or did I just want, did I just want what I wanted in the moment and then go and live a second life or a double life behind the scenes? Like we have to be able to ask ourselves that question. Is like, well, why can't I transparently have a conversation with my wife or my husband? Or why can't I transparently, share what it is that I'm feeling or say, well, hey, this is not where I'm at right now. And typically it's out of fear, fear of loss, fear of rejection, fear of not being accepted, like all of these things kind of come up and we don't necessarily address them, from a safe perspective. Because at the end of the day, Lemoyne would have to account, for, what he did or didn't do.
Right.
But can I say that I created a safe space for him to communicate whatever it was that he was feeling. Now, is it right for him not to tell the truth about the matters? Absolutely not. But could I have created a different space for him to come in and say, well, I'm not ready to go there now? And then also, could he say, well, hey, if that's where she's going and I don't want to go, am I okay, right, with the consequences of me not going? Because it may mean, hey, we grow so far apart. Okay, well, see you later, son.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That the deacon roll up on him.
Well, no, that wasn't gonna happen. Not the deacon. Definitely not the deacons. Okay. Yeah. But and those are the kind of things that we have to be ready to answer. But we both participate in a space that's unhealthy, right? He's halfway participating because he's like, well, I don't want her to, go too far out and leave me. You know what I'm saying? She might go get one of them little intellectuals over there at one of them conferences and not come back. Well, so let me go. I'm gonna go with you.
I was quite the intellectual myself.
Well, say it how you would. With a book, you read it, you didn't. Okay,
I was able to regurgitate what you told me. I retained the information.
I told you,
and that's what intellectuals do. They retain information.
Hey, listen, sir, you hear what I'm saying?
I hear.
You see how you acting? Ain't too. Listen, we need a couple. What mail it? We need to take him up a couple notches. But the whole point of it is, we were transitioning from that space to, hey, we want to be better in a much I think an unhealthy and unsafe way, right, for the relationship. And I'm just saying, the reason why we had to have the topic is because I feel like that it's needed, but there's also a pull for, an individual is saying, well, hey, I'm married to this person. And, technically if we're going to go by what the word says, it's, to death do us part, unless they, bang you against your head or they don't really, respect you as the one and only spouse. That's a completely different perspective. But if you signed up for a covenant marriage and you're saying, I'm going to be with this person for the rest of my life, that's really what my fear was, right? Is, oh my God, I am 2.0. 3.0, and I'm still looking at 0.0. Like, what is happening?
The original version.
The original.
You hear me?
The original copy is what we're looking at. And so I am not able to articulate this now. Not a dozen years ago. I'm not able to articulate that because this June, we'll be married 16 years.
Is it 16 or 15?
It's 16 because we should have re-upped at 15, but we missed it. Now you're gonna wait. But I am not able to articulate this over a dozen years ago that, hey, I'm growing and I'm afraid that I'm not going to like you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not able to say those things. But I think that if you're in a space where you see yourself rapidly growing, whether it's spiritual, professionally, personally, however you want to call it, if you see yourself growing to another level, I think you should pause and have a conversation with your spouse and say the things that you may say in your head, but that you would dare to say out loud. Now, I'm not saying that it has to, be from a nasty place, like where you got to make it sting. But in hindsight, if this Crystal could have said, to 20-something-year-old Crystal, hey, you're only trying to control him because you're scared.
Right.
You only are trying to make him go because you don't know what's going to happen if you...
Because ain't nobody going to love you like me and you want
that
me
is
to come
absolutely
along.
Not, actually. I was actually starting to see a different perspective in other people. And that's where the danger of it is I'm saying, oh, wait a minute. He's not growing, but I see guys over here that are growing to the place where I would like my husband to grow. So instead of me, obviously doing the outlandish thing and being attached to those guys, I come back and say, you come here now, go with me. Like, because I understand covenant marriage, right? And I'm saying that there's a lot of believers that get caught up in that because they won't stop and say, you know what, I just saw something that was attractive to me.
And I should be afraid.
And I should be afraid of that. Hey, can you come over here, please? Where they are? Get in here. I think that's the thing that we really should be, explaining to our spouses as we are growing. You read a book and now you feel like your whole life has changed. Sit down with your spouse and tell them how you feel like you're changing.
Versus like, you ain't read the book.
Come here now. You read this book. In a week, you tell me what you learned. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not the way to go with that. And I think that that's the more important part, right? That we should at least be able to share with people transparently to say, hey, this is probably a healthier way to explain what's happening, because I don't think that it in most couples, especially if they're watching a podcast like this, like it's not that they don't want to be better or to grow, but a lot of times we don't know the healthy way to have that type of dialogue or conversation with our spouse.
Yeah, you don't know the healthy way, because it starts to bubble up in frustration, because you seeing the possibilities of it one way, and then you're wanting that the carbon copy of it to be on the other side of it, and it's like, hey man, it don't really work like that. But the truth of the matter is, I ain't think I was a bad guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't think I was, like, I thought I was good. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and for all intents and purposes, for about 65 to 70%.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I held the job down. I worked, you know what I'm saying? I paid the bills and make sure we was straight, on that front,
But then there were some areas where you were not a good person.
I'm just not a good person. Yeah.
And I think that that's also, a part of the part. It's like when you're seeing now that some of that stuff is now starting to come to the surface. Like, oh, now the bad parts of me are being exposed.
Right. Well, and part of it was, you know what I'm saying, because I don't think I was strong enough as an individual, as a man, and who I wanted to be, to step into it and say, oh yeah, no, I don't really agree with that, and then allow myself time to then come into that. And when I come into it, when I step into it, then I can step into it holistically. You know what I'm saying? Versus just stepping into it from a verbal standpoint. And my heart, my mind, my body, my soul is nowhere near it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm merely giving lip service to it. You know what I'm saying? But my actions still indicated where my heart was. You know what I'm saying? Or where my mind was, where I wanted to, what I really wanted to do. So so I think that's the part when you say, even when we talk about the fast and things like that, just like, hey, yeah, you can, but at the end of the day, like, if it's motivated by someone, like that, then sometimes it just may not be what it needs to, may not necessarily have the effect that it needs to have, because that needs to be like something that comes from the inside, because that's a commitment.
Yeah, it is. But I see your perspective on that, because commitments for you are, you know what I'm saying, it's taunting. Yeah. And so I'm like, I definitely hear that. First, I wanted to address what Brandon had said, because like I do get that, that the different spouses. So if you have somebody that is, hey, I'm gung-ho about being a better person, and they are mature enough to sit down and have the conversation with their spouse, because they are working, they are the one that's wanting to be better. You also have to understand that when you go into that conversation, that there could be some rejection, there could be some backlash, there could be, where they're just not on the bandwagon. Yeah. But where the work really comes in at is being whole enough in yourself to say, regardless to what their response is, if I want to be better, this journey is for me and about me. But because this person is doing life with me, I owe them the conversation. Yeah. Now, what they do with it, that has to be for them. But my response to how they respond to me is now my responsibility. Yeah. I have in the past responded very negatively to Lemoyne, or lying and saying he on the journey, but he ain't. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Or not necessarily being excited about a journey that I'm excited about, right? When really and truly what it looks like is, if I'm on a journey, I'm on a journey. Just like I'm here every day cooking meat-like substances for him every single day on this Prosper Well, because who ain't gonna invite him to Prosper Well? It's me. Now, I want him to prosper well. I want him to live long, strong, healthy, and wise. But if he decides that he not, that's his responsibility. My response is, I'm going to control what I feel about him not wanting to prosper well. Because it's not that...
Well, and it's not that I don't want to prosper well.
It's this to participate in the initiative.
The way that you do it.
Or at all.
Okay.
So we have to address them from all perspectives, because you may have somebody that legit is halfway participating, not participating at all, okay. Or, you know what I'm saying, rooting somebody on. Now, you'll participate to the degree that's comfortable for you.
Okay.
And that's cool. I've had to grow to that, to say, that's cool. Whereas before, I've had agitation, because I'm like, if like, case in point, the Prosper Well. Now I'm thinking in my mind, what's bad about wanting to prosper well? Why would my husband not want to prosper well? And if nothing else with me, just don't make sense to me. Now I can choose to say that's all that I'm going to focus on is those thoughts, or I could choose to cook you them turkey wings, because my journey is not your journey, but it's my journey,
right? And here's the deal: all of the exposure that you may have gotten to lead you up to that mountaintop of prospering well, I may not have gotten. Right, you guys are on an intense call every Monday. You know, you may read, you may be doing this devotional while
I know, but you're going way too deep.
No, I'm just saying it's just
from I'm using that as an example, but I'm also saying let's not even call it prosper well. Let's just say that somebody has decided they just want to 1 day a week, they don't want to eat meat. And the other spouse fall out over it. You know what I'm saying? Like, cool. I'm saying from an introductory perspective, somebody is doing something different than the other partner, and now all of a sudden there is a blow up.
There you go. Okay,
you know what I'm saying? Like, I get it, because I know you want to dive deep with how spiritual we are on prosper well.
Oh no, I ain't saying that. I think it's a beautiful thing.
It is, but I'm saying I can only be at this point with prosper well because of previous work.
I agree.
But there's other people that are in way beginning stages
100%.
of whatever their journey of prospering well may look like.
If it's your journey, then allow it to be your
journey. Yeah. But that's the hardest part for anybody to trigger to, when they're wanting to do something and it feels great, and they don't understand why the people that are around them, that is at least close in their circle, is joining in on the bandwagon, so to speak. That's the difficult place, is when you legitimately in your heart feel like this is the greatest thing. And what I've learned over time is that I'm not gonna win him over, like not from by the way, you got to do what I do. You know, but I can win him over through my consistent actions. And that's the perspective that I've decided to take over time, because I understand he doesn't process the same way that I process. He doesn't have the same desires that I have. He doesn't have the same values that I have. And so if we don't fully agree on the whole thing, does that make him a bad person? Does that make me a bad person? No, it just makes us, unique to who it is that we are. What becomes bad is when I try to make him be me in the situation, or he tries to become something that he's not, to try to tag along with whatever it is that I'm doing. That's the unhealthy space, you know what I'm saying, that we've tried very hard here, at least in the recent past, to work and navigate through and not be in those spaces. Because I can't say that I'm growing and developing, and the thing that I'm focusing on most is what you're doing.
Right. And I think that what Michelle said, for the sake of her growth, because resentment will become a distraction to the journey. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
While you're on
bitterness, resentment, unforgiveness. And so usually if there's something, especially now, if there's something new for me to do, I don't have to introduce you to that.
Yeah.
Like, it ain't, hey, right. Like, I didn't make no public service announcement that I was doing prosper well. April 1st came and I stopped eating meat. Not meat, seafood.
Yeah, I cooked that tuna, and he was like, "Oh, I ain't gonna eat this."
I ain't got tomorrow. I'm like, Lord, I ain't got no cheese. Can't have no ice cream. You know what I'm saying? But what did you do last night? You sat right at that kitchen table, ate a nice scoop of Baskin-Robbins ice cream in my face.
Cookies and cream.
In my face.
If you need it,
he don't even eat behind my back no more. He just, it is what it is.
You don't want me to eat behind your back, do you? Exactly.
The point of the matter is,
I'm okay
on the third day, you ate a scoop of Baskin-Robbins ice cream in my face
that had been sitting in the freezer for a while.
The point of the matter is, you did it, and what did I say to you?
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. Mm-hmm. Didn't even know I noticed it until this moment. Now, did you?
I didn't think it wasn't nothing. You know what I'm saying?
But it could be, and that's the thing. You know what I'm saying, is that it could be for people that are new inside of their journeys, thinking that somebody's supposed to be at least respecting them in the journey, and they sat and ate a scoop, and they
gotta respect them.
You see what I'm saying? I know. I'm telling you that you over here like, well, it ain't nothing. That scoop of ice cream could be a whole argument for a household. You hear me?
I'm on this thing.
I'm over here talking about I ain't eating ice cream, I ain't eating no pork, and you done came in here with a BLT and 2 scoops. What? BLT. Tell me people don't like. You can't tell me that that's not the perspective that some people.
That's what we had early on.
Yeah, it drives deep, and I'm just saying that that's not healthy.
Yeah, no, it's not healthy.
Yeah,
at all. Not one iota.
We have to be, conscious of the fact that if you decide to go on any journey, one that is obviously of betterment for oneself, you have to decide that that's your journey, right? Now, again, like I said before, I think that you owe your partner a conversation. And that's what we have never done.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It took us a while to get out of that loop.
Because I'm just like, I'm changing. And I turn around and look a corner and I'm like,
yeah.
Where you at?
I'm like, hey, yeah, I'm with you. I still love you, girl.
Right. Keep going, man. I'm gonna drive up there and pick you up. You need a ride.
Yeah, hey, shout till you lose your voice. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna fan over you and everything.
But that wasn't his journey. And I'm like, now, right? You have this whole aha, after who knows, years of turmoil and frustration, you realize the journey is yours. Yeah. It's not about who you can drag along with you.
Right.
But what I would say is it's also important to find a community of people, right? But a healthy one, and I think that especially early on in the journey, I found communities, but initially I found communities in an unsafe way or unhealthy way. So then the community then became the replacement for Lemoyne, because I'm like, if you ain't going, then you ain't coming. If you ain't gonna go, you can't come here. So then he gets blocked out.
The first way.
Both of them.
No,
both of them. I meant both of them. So then that's still unhealthy. You know what I'm saying?
Very much so.
So then you're saying, oh, since you're not coming, then don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? You don't get privy to any spaces that I'm in, right? Like you want updates? You don't get no updates over here, right?
Right.
Because you ain't want to read the book. We talking about the book over here. What you talking about? So I'm just saying all of that, right? It's totally unhealthy. What really has to happen is a transparent and open conversation, an honest conversation to say
and make room for the truth.
Yeah.
Make room for the truth, not just the conversation. Because even when we would attempt to have the conversation, then it would still be, you know what I'm saying, or one that seemed like it was overwhelming with guilt or condemnation, which then I would reluctantly be like, all right, yeah, you're right. All right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Well,
you're right. Yeah, nah, you're right. I'm gonna do it. You right.
Yeah.
And
I think a lot of the emotions or feelings, and it's this wheel chart that I used when I did the executive roundtable thing. I love that little wheel chart.
Yeah.
Because we was having a conversation the other day, and I was telling you about the chart or something, and whatever the conversation was, I had identified whatever it was that you were thinking or feeling as fear, but it was showing up as like anger or frustration or irritation. But in the little wheel chart, fear might be on the like innermost circle. So like if it's like 4 circles and each circle has its own word, well, fear was all the way to the inside.
Right. The depth of the depth.
Right. Yeah. But what usually happens is, we get into irritation or frustration and anger, and we say those things first. Right. But we say those things first because those words are safe. But if you tell a person that I am afraid, now you feel vulnerable. You feel weak. You feel out of control. And so you can't say, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So then you do things like try to control all of the situations around. Well, I'm going to bring him whether he want to go or not. Oh, well, I'm going to go whether I want to go or not. Well, I'm going to show up at this meeting with him. I don't really want to do X. The real fear shows up in other ways, right? That we're able to articulate, but we don't really realize that the root of the matter is, oh my gosh, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
And that's the part, like if we're able to have those types of conversations when we're, in transition or, want to do a business deal and the other one don't, or, wanting to explore, different things as it relates to, your walk with God or whatever the case may be, that's when you have to say, hey, are you going to be one of them people that when we go to church, you're going to fall out every time?
For real.
But transparently, because I'm afraid, because that seemed to me, that's a little embarrassing.
Yeah.
Is that where you're going? Because I don't really understand the journey. Like, why you want to do, asking questions, to figure out instead of just making the assumption or having the conversations in your head, but like say, hey, we need to create the safe space today because I have several questions about this situation. I'm not sure where we are or, what it is that's about to happen, or where do you see this going? Like, can you articulate to me what this transition looks like for you? How can I be of best support, as you do this? What expectations do you have of me as you go wherever it is that you're going? Do you expect me to go?
and those are all legit questions. And sometimes, you know, it can be uncomfortable because that person may not have all the answers. But if you don't have all the answers, then you don't have an expectation for me to understand.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that's okay too. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? My expectation, if you don't have all the answers, I'm not upset, but just don't expect me to now, you know, blindly follow along and you ain't got all the answers.
Well, no, either. I think that there's checkpoints. And Tiffany, yes, that is the feeling. It's the feeling wheel. Yeah. So to that point, that isn't the first and final conversation.
No, it's not.
It's multiple conversations.
100%.
Because once I know more, or once you know more, we come back. Hey, we need to have another conversation.
Right.
I think I know a little bit more now. Mm-hmm. Or hey, I think this is probably gonna be a lot different than what I told you first time.
Yeah,
I'm going all in now. Like, you know, I think I'm gonna fall out next Sunday. Is you okay?
I felt it. I just held myself up this week,
and I think that's part.
My lip was quivering. I wanted to say something.
Right, you know. All right, now I'm telling you, you don't mess with the Holy Spirit. Now, all right.
Hey, I'm just listen. I ain't messing with the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is just as real as you and I.
Nah, you said shit about a Hyundai, and I'm telling you right now, if you go up in there to go take a shower and you fall out, I'm trying to tell you, I'm not gonna pick you up. I'm gonna record. I'm gonna record for the people.
Let me get
you. Do not. All right now, Lord, do what you do.
Do what you do every day, all day.
You,
he is good.
You ain't finna get me in that.
All the time.
Nope.
All the time.
I'm not participating.
The Lord is good. Put it in the chat.
Do your good work, Lord. Please, Jesus, do it for me.
The church people know.
Do it for me. What'd you say? He speak English more. I'm not playing, Yolanda. I'm not getting in on that. I done that one too many times. It ain't work out in my favor. That next week I was on the flow. So I know how this goes. I'm looking forward to Sunday.
There you go. Okay. Well, very well then.
Matter of fact, I'm looking forward to tonight because he might fall out. I'll tell you tonight. I'm gonna put my hand on your forehead.
See, I was finna say something, but I know your mama on here.
All right. Keep it up. I'm telling you, the Lord will use you, sir.
I believe. Let
the Lord use me.
For the betterment of your servant, Crystal.
No. Say, let the Lord use me.
Let the Lord use me.
All right. Hey,
yeah,
stand by, good people.
I'm good
it's
with it.
I
don't think he's not used me. I've availed myself. That's what they say. You got to avail yourself.
All right, buddy.
Yeah, I'm good, man. Hey, my spiritual walk is strong.
Listen, I'm not questioning it. That is you. That is with you and the Lord.
Thank you.
Okay.
And that's anybody's walk. You know what I'm saying? It's between you and the Lord.
Absolutely. I'm just letting you know that you're going to get whatever you need to get.
Am I?
Because I'm trying to tell you that you done played out here with this shit about a Hyundai, and I'm telling you right now, you going to wish you had bought a Kia. You going to wish you did. It's gonna be a time. It's gonna be a time. I can't wait for this.
Yeah, hey. It is what it is.
Anyway, I don't even know what we were talking about before you said that foolishness, man.
Well, just the journey in and of itself, and being able to have multiple conversations leading up to it to set the expectations, around the board. You know what I mean? Because, like you said, what is expected of me? What is expected of you? Fear. We're talking about the feeling wheel and all that type of stuff.
Yeah. I just think that follow-up conversations, because I think even at the point, when we actually probably, got to the point where we could actually, dialogue, I think at that point, the lesson learned is one conversation isn't going to get it. Like you need, follow-ups. You need, hey, let's check in. You know what I'm saying? And healthy check-ins, not argument. You know what I'm saying? Check-ins, but hey, okay, how are we now? Hey, I saw, this happened the other day. Tell me, and I don't think that the other spouse, has to be as all in as the other, but I do think it's important that your spouse is supportive.
I think it's
if you're doing something, obviously that's not,
that they understand at least what you're doing.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, understand, okay, what it is. Because I really feel like this because in some instances, even just like the entrepreneurial journey, I knew that I wanted to make money, But I just had never seen anybody really make money outside of a corporate job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or have a coach.
Or have a coach.
He
and
done
things
had a
like
whole
that.
360 on that, because I'm gonna tell you right now, he about ready to take me to an altar call for me to, coach full time. Whereas, back in the day, I told him I wanted to hire a coach, and he just about thought I had saw a ghost.
Man, I just
I
didn't
totally
understand
lost my mind.
Yeah. But I didn't understand it. But
and I didn't try to explain it.
But I supported it.
Yeah.
I supported it. And that was financial, and money means something to me. Something to me. You know what I'm saying? Because that was the security in which, you know what I'm saying? I felt like, hey, held things together. Growing up, that was the very thing that you lack growing up is probably the thing that makes you feel most comfortable when you get older.
But that should have been the conversation, not, should we get a coach or not? You know what I'm saying? Really and truly, the conversation was, again, the feeling wheel flows back to fear. I'm afraid to give this money up.
Yeah.
It wasn't, you know what I'm saying, 100%. That the coach couldn't help, or, that,
I didn't think they could.
Okay.
I didn't think they could. They did, but I just didn't think that. I was just like, man, why don't they just?
But that's what I'm saying is not being able to fully identify where the real feeling comes from. Because if you know what I'm saying, when you think about it from the time frame of which we made that decision, versus now, if you got access to, whatever it is that you need to do it, versus, hey, I'm saying I'm about to take stuff, or take money from us when it's tight to do X, Y, and Z. It's really not that the coaching is the problem. It's the fear to let the money to go that's the problem. So then we don't allow, the growth mindset to kick in that space, because we're really thinking about the thing that we're most afraid of, not the thing that we can most gain. It's what we're most afraid of that we're really not making the decision from. So I'm saying most people don't even know how to open up to the space to say, it's not that I don't believe this coaching thing is real. I'm just saying this time right here for me is uncomfortable, because you're telling me you won't take, this many thousands of dollars out of an account of which we already borrowing X, Y, and Z from other accounts to go do that. And I don't even know what that is exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying that if we had a lot more of these thousands, I probably would be a little less reluctant about supporting you in the Wild Wild West.
Yeah.
But since I got a few of these coins, I kind of want to keep them. That's really what the conversation was.
Yeah.
But but I'm able to articulate that conversation
now
a decade later.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Other than that, I'm just questioning the cue off a question as to why. Like, okay, well, let's talk to them. Let's talk. What's the point?
Yeah. Not seeing what the potential is in it, but that's what I'm saying is when you really don't know, or when you don't have the conversation to go, like we did the 5 whys, right?
Yeah.
Like if we had access to the 5 whys at that particular point, we probably would have discovered that it's really not the money. I mean, it's really not the thing, it's the money. So can we talk about why we feel this way about money?
Right. What's your real feeling about money?
Because that's what we really needed to dissect, because that same feeling about money, it travels.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop at a decade ago.
Right.
Because it wasn't coaching. Because now we're doing.
If it was free, would you do it?
Would you do it?
You know what I'm saying?
So now it's not coaching, but now it's not this vehicle, or now it's not this investment property. It's actually the conversation about money.
Yeah.
And that conversation travels. It doesn't get to, oh, well, now you got X amount of dollars and now you're not having the conversation. No, the fear of not having it will always be there.
Yeah.
Because if you said, oh, well, the thing that you had the least of when you were growing up, okay, now that's what you're focusing on.
Right. When you get it, that's what builds a sense of security, whether it was family or love, or for me, it was financials, because it always seemed like it was a struggle from a financial perspective.
And so when you don't have the transparent conversations, it spills into everything.
But you got to know how to have them too, because I know that I didn't know how to have them. I just knew that I didn't want to spend the money. But why didn't I want to spend the money? Because that was a sense of security. But I masked it with questions about the validity of the actual program. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm not saying that everybody will, necessarily be at the space to know, right? To have that level of in-depth conversation. But I am saying that if you're listening to the Love and Business podcast, you now have access into that information to say, hey, I don't really even know how to navigate through these thoughts when I uncover them. But the first step of it is to at least admit that, hey, my spouse is, wanting to do something different or new here, and I'm not sure how I feel about it.
Yeah.
You can use the emotion wheel or the feeling wheel and say, well, let me see if I can find a word in here that resonates, right? Like, that's a simple tool. You don't have to go out, and spend millions of dollars to try to figure out how you feeling. Yeah. But I do think that you also have to transparently share from a space, because it's not that you even necessarily need these quote unquote tools. You just have to be okay with saying the real truth out loud. Because to me, that gets you a whole lot further than, taking that information and withholding it to yourself, not wanting to express it to the very person that you're in covenant relationship with.
100%. And a lot of times, it's because the truth can seem ugly at times to some people anyway.
That's if you define it that way.
If you define it that way.
Correct.
Exactly.
Because I don't think that lie is a bad thing, because I defined it that way. And I don't think that the truth is a bad thing, because I've defined it that way.
Okay. All right. I won't even venture that
but
way.
I'm saying that when we have certain definitions around things,
of course,
it then
frames up the way that we see it.
So then we won't communicate transparently.
Exactly.
So if I think that if I share my authentic truth with you, that you may reject me, or you may not receive what I'm saying, or you may not want me to grow, in this space. You may not want me to sign up for this program. You may not want me to join this community or whatever, because you see it as, like, if I tell her I'm afraid for her to join that, now that's going to be a bad thing.
Right.
But that's your truth. And so then obviously we have to create, safe places to have those, those types of conversations. Yeah. But the only way you get to that place is if you have them. Yeah, you can't just walk in and say, you know what, day one, we're about to have a safe, and you've never, and all your previous ones was not safe.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you still have to walk into the space saying, this is what I want. I'm not really sure how this conversation is going to end, but this is how I want it.
And I think it's important to understand what makes your spouse or what makes your partner feel safe. You know what I'm saying? Because they could, being rejected or not being heard could be some sort of unsafety for them. You know what I mean? So I think it's important to understand that as it relates to it. And Brandon, I think you're exactly right, man. I mean, she saw something that she wanted. I think she just had a burning desire to want more. And I wanted more too. I just was like, hey, I feel like this is the route to go, because this is the way that I've seen it. She saw her father be an entrepreneur all of his, life, and now continues, you know what I mean, with him making money with his hands and creating money is what I call it, because he takes something and then he makes it something that somebody wants to purchase. And that's what she saw. I didn't see that. I saw my dad work. I saw my stepfather work. I saw my grandfather work. I saw my mother and my grandmother. I saw all of them work, right? Punch the clock, get off at 5 o'clock, have a lunch 12 to 1. You know what I mean? And that's that. It was just, okay, well, do you work hard enough to get a promotion within the company? You know what I mean? And that's where your prosperity came from. I didn't see anything about no real estate or any of that. Not that I was opposed to it. I just needed to understand it and question it. So I questioned it, because now that I had a few coins, I'm like, hey, now I don't want to just, just let it go in one transaction. You know what I mean? When you're talking about paying thousands of dollars, and I'm like, man, I don't know, how many people in my family got thousands of dollars in the bank, period. We ain't had to question a house note. We ain't had to question a bill. We never had to think about that. You know what I mean? By the grace of God, right? So now I'm like, hold on, do you want to remove, this away? You know what I'm saying? Like, this my hedge of protection, you know what I'm saying? But that's where my mind was at, right? And that's what I mean when I say I thought I was doing good. I didn't think I needed help. But from a spiritual perspective, if I put that money as my hedge of protection, then that's where I needed the help. Not that I was around here slapping people or spitting on people or being nasty to people or anything like that. I for all intents and purposes, I think I was a good guy. Like I said earlier, I fed the homeless. You know what I mean? Like, the guy will be by the dumpster. I'd be like, hey, bro, you done ate today? Let me get you something. I go in my house and get a plate, maybe warming up. If he ain't there, I wrap some foil around it, put it over there, because I know he coming back over there, right? But that's what I classified as being a good guy, not necessarily from a mental perspective. Like, what what lens am I viewing the world from? You know what I'm saying? Or viewing my spiritual walk from, you know what I mean? And most of it was from a very vain perspective, or only what my hands and my arms could hold, not what God could provide.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, that was that felt like a season of torture for me, because I'm seeing things rapidly, like where I know that if we make these shifts or changes, or do this or do that, this few little $1,000 that you over here wimping over ain't gonna be nothing.
I didn't hold it over your head though. You know what I'm saying? I know. I'm just saying when I let it go, I didn't hold it over your head. I didn't say, man, well, we did this, we did. I didn't do that at all.
Yeah, but that's your personality type. So you're gonna do that for anything. I think what is probably even worse. Well, I'm not saying that this is a bad thing, but I think for me, what was more difficult to transition through is that no, you didn't hang it over my head, but you didn't participate to the degree of which I had desired for you to do. So in your mind, paying for it was full participation.
That was full participation. I'm talking about 190%.
When for me, that was okay. Well, that's the part for the course. Yeah. Like, okay. Journey alone. You like, oh no, that's Crystal's thing.
Yeah, no,
when really you were, in my brain at that point, I took that transaction as now you're paying for me to be better, and for you to not be. Not we're paying for both of us to go and be better. In my brain, I was really thinking, since you agreed that we were going to do it, that we would do it. When it really was, that's Crystal's journey there.
Yeah. Well, I would. Yeah. I mean,
when it really wasn't that.
Done my part. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but we didn't have that conversation.
Nothing, man.
But yeah, compared to today.
No.
Compared to today. No. You know what I'm saying? But man, my God, for real. Then, yeah, that was some money. But we didn't have that conversation either. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, we didn't.
Yeah, we didn't have the conversation.
No, and I think that that's the whole point, is that a lot of people end up frustrated because, like I had an understanding that wasn't there. Your understanding was money is important to me. I just departed with it.
Right, because my wife desired it, and because of my love
real
for her
desire was that we were both about to grow and thrive together.
Yeah.
And paying those funds probably pushed us farther apart than anything, at that particular season. It then drove us, in a different space. Because I never had the conversation to say, okay, now, since you paid this, come along now. You know what I'm saying? And you never said, all right, now go on about the business. I done paid for this now. Leave me alone. You know what I'm saying? Like, neither one of us ever had, like that conversation. And I'm, like, as we try to help other people, journey through it, that's it. You have to have so many checkpoints.
Yeah.
When you're becoming, next version, when you see them, right? Because we had to have the conversation again when I decided, hey, I'm about to, partner with Sean in this way.
Yeah.
So we have multiple conversations. Then I'm looking at you. I'm like, hey, do we need to talk? Hey, can we talk? Let's talk about, this. So let's talk about that. Like we're having the dialogue about it, but this time around, we're dialoguing way more. We even had a conversation before the podcast.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, okay, I hear you. Here's where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? And you're like, hey, here's where I'm at. So, but prior to, neither one of those conversations would have happened.
Yeah.
You would have been frustrated in your space. I'd have been happy-go-lucky wherever it was that I was going, and looking back in the rear view, like, where is this Negro at?
Right. But it boils down to, again, the values too, because again, my agreement with the release of the money was, I'm talking about, that was level 10 for me on a scale from to 5.
And it wasn't even on the scale.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, for you, it's like
you only pay so that you can get to the scale.
Man, I was just like,
it's like, ding, 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 I have won the championship.
You got all of my support right here. You know what I'm saying?
And money is not support. That is not that. Not in my book.
Yeah,
okay. But in his book, you know what I'm saying? Money is all the support. And I'm saying,
what the Bible say, where your heart is, where your treasure is, your heart will be.
Don't use that scripture for that.
No, I'm asking. Is that not? I
don't know. I don't know. I don't even know where you're trying to go. I much rather you said, money answers all things.
Well, it does.
But it's like, for me, hold money to that same standard.
Okay.
But those are conversations that need to be had, because I have a different perspective about money than he does.
Yeah.
And most of the decisions that he's going to make is going to be related to the money in some way, shape, or form. Am I going to lose some? Am I going to gain some? Am I going to have to pay some? Am I going to get some? Like, that's what he's thinking. And I probably think about that, not last, but also not first. Like, for me, it's kind of, you know what I'm saying? It's in the middle. I'm looking at, mission driven first. Like, okay, what am I going to get at? Okay, great. And then, okay, is it going to cost me something? Or, will I gain something from, like, I'm not driven by that part.
Because I admit, man, I paid my tithes because because he said he promised to protect the rest of it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
He protection.
Yeah. I was like, hey, I'm gonna pay, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna pay my tithe because I don't want to lose the money.
I'm paying him because I'm thankful that he gave me the other 90.
But
thank you, Lord.
100%. But Brandon, just like you, man. I mean, Crystal and I were in similar situations. You know what I'm saying? Where, hey, you tell your folks what you make, and they like, oh my God, I ain't never in my life, and it's like, man, but you have a different vision. But hey, that's what it is. But I don't know. It just was, most of the time it's, it was. But we did an event that cost us, I don't know, it was some thousands of dollars, and it was free to everybody. It was free to everybody. You know what I mean? The Wealth Empowerment Tour. What was that? 2014, 2015, we did that.
Okay.
But it was free to everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I felt like, oh, okay, well, yeah, that's par for the course. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, this is us giving back, or us pouring into the community, or whatever it may have been. I don't know what but the focal point was to, you know what I'm saying, to help others see and be a part of the journey as well.
Yeah. That's reasonable. Yeah. Who's come? What you see?
I'm just reading London's, but you ain't got quiet on me.
He said for men who see money as a way to provide and support for their family, it's a shift to realize that the payment isn't support.
Yeah, that's a real shift. I'm talking about like a 5-speed Mustang or something like that, man. That is
I think it's for a lot of people, like for especially if you value money, you know what I'm saying, to high esteem. Yeah. It's sometimes it can be a hard shift to make, but I'm grateful that I've never seen, like money that way.
I mean, and here's the truth. Growing up, one of the most influential people that was a part of my life, that's how love was translated. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was through dollars.
I'm gonna pay for a thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna pay for it. You know what I'm saying?
And I saw growing up, that actual support was people showing up.
Yeah, and then you didn't even have to show up on my end. It was just like, oh, okay, well, look, I'm gonna make sure.
But that's not all the way true. That's not all the way true.
Okay.
I think that people can teach us, a thing or whatever, but I do think that it's important for who shows up for you. I believe that, because I believe that if said person shows up in different spaces, it's important.
Yeah, of course. It would be more joyful. You know what
I'm saying? Man, don't do that now. The real feeling is we care who's in our spaces. But if people teach us that, hey, I might not be there, you know what I'm saying, but I'm gonna give you X amount of dollars, what it does is it suppresses our actual feeling and truth to say, I would much rather you not give me this if you would be here more. But if we don't have the maturity or even the words, right? Or if we haven't been trained or taught to communicate that way, there's no way we know to say that. To say, hey, I appreciate your dollars, but hold it this time. Because last time I felt some type of way when you didn't come. Come this time. Say that. Like, to me, that's how people get into transparent conversations, because we continue to suppress what we're really thinking, saying, oh, well, I know they love me because they give me money. But have you ever had a thought that I wish they had came here?
Or because that is the pattern, then you start to basically curve the way that you define love.
That's possible too. But I think that when there are opportunities, like when doors open, where you have a thought, most of the time we're not trained to stop and process that thought.
No.
We are trying to suppress that thought because it's different, and to everybody else it might be a little weird.
Yeah.
To say, you know what? I actually want you here with me more than I want what you can offer me. Like people don't say that.
Yeah, no. Your family show up. Like your family show up. My family, we just don't rock like that. You know what I'm saying?
But can you say though, man, I would like more, more moments like that, right? Where people show up more like that. Like, I think that it's like at some points in times, there has to be like a conversation to be had to say, you know what, I kind of noticed, something over here, and it ain't got to be my family, your family, whatever. But hey, I noticed a friend of mine, they do that over there, and that seems really cool. Like when I saw them do that, I was like, man, I wish my people did that.
Yeah.
But then we don't say that to the very people that can make that, that transaction happen. Because it seems weird, right? You're like, oh my God, I have to be vulnerable. I got to open up here.
Talk about what I'm feeling.
I got to say what I'm feeling. Talk about feeling.
They did something, now I'm feeling it? No.
But no, case in point, when we went to your cousin them house that Joyce and them.
Okay, yeah.
And I said, man, like they hug on people. You know what I'm saying? They do. I was like, I never seen this before. Like I'm talking about they hug each other like they live in the same city.
Yeah.
They see each other like a couple times a week.
Yeah.
But they was hugging each other like they had long road trips ahead.
Yeah.
And I was like,
like they had long road trips.
This is different. Like, did you time y'all see each other? I know y'all stay 2 miles away from here. But for me, I was like, oh my God, we don't do that.
No.
You know what I'm saying? But I never said, oh, I should go home and tell my family we should do that.
Because y'all do have the opportunity to do it.
Yeah. We have the opportunity to do it. We spend a lot of time together. You know what I'm saying? But I never looked and said, I'm going to go back home and I'm going to tell my people we should do that. Because I liked the way that it just seemed to flow so well. We're not trying to communicate that way. And I'm just saying that I think that that's how a lot of the bottleneck stuff starts to happen. Because we don't know how to articulate what we're really truly feeling in moments, people get left.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Yeah. And sometimes we go places in our head and we're not inviting other people to go.
We're definitely not.
And that's not fair.
Not inviting them to go. And sometimes I don't know if we want them to.
Okay. Brandon said it's awkward to say that because we don't know how to verbalize something we never had. Oh.
Yeah, because just like growing up, we didn't eat dinner at the same time. Like my mom cooked, and then like we ate when we were hungry. When we got home from school or whatever,
you were able to articulate to me today. Hey, I want to make sure that you know.
Difference. That's because now after 16 years, you know what I'm saying? Then it's a difference, right?
But I'm saying I'm hopeful that it doesn't take people almost a decade. You know what I'm saying? To be able to articulate those types of things.
Well, yeah, I hope not. But I hope not. And that's the reality.
You miss out on a lot of moments, not telling real truths and not wanting to identify what it is that you're feeling. Even if you don't know how to articulate it, the first thing that you can say is, I'm feeling something. And I don't really necessarily know what it is, but I would like to sit with you and walk through whatever it is that I can articulate at this moment. And then if you're okay, I'd like to come back to it if we don't get to the end of it today. But I'm wanting to, open up and have a discussion about whatever the situation is. And then, let's revisit at a later date if I can't get to a place where you understand today.
Yeah. But I am feeling something.
But I'm feeling something. Yeah. Like I'm stuck here. I don't want to be here anymore. Like, and it's not that I don't want to be with you. I'm just saying I want something different. Yeah. And I don't know what that is. And I'm not saying that you're bad.
And most of the time I probably wouldn't say them because I would want to be able to articulate it out through and through. I want to think about what I'm feeling.
And then talk yourself out of saying the conversation. And that's the part. Exactly. It's like we say that all the time. Stop thinking about your thinking and have the conversation out loud with the people that matter most to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk myself out of it because I'm gonna say, well, I ain't really
worry about that. That ain't that important. Yeah. No, that's not what we're doing. We're having the conversation, and I'm grateful, that we're able to even dialogue, this way, because I think that it's important that people get to they get to see, obviously, that it can be done the wrong way, but then there is access to information to be able to do it the right way. And it has to start with open, honest, and transparent conversation.
It has to. Yeah, it has to.
All right, he said that twice. So it has been a great Thursday night. I think this was a really good conversation.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, I think you were very open, honest, and transparent.
Yeah. There we go. All right.
I'm happy for you.
Yeah, I am too. There we go. All right.
Anyway, I don't think there's anything new or developing at this particular point. Do you? Y'all need to make sure y'all get Beast by Crystal though. I think we're still going strong with that book.
Yeah, and if you subscribe to the Love and Business.
Oh yeah, they need to go to inloveandbusiness.com and get on our email list so we can start emailing y'all.
And Crystal, she's gonna send out the feeling wheel if you guys. Yeah, Crystal's gonna send that out. I think that's we might need to put that up somewhere in the house.
You know what I think? I think maybe you should learn how to work the back end of it and send it out. You'll charge me with the task of sending them the feeling wheel.
So what'll happen is I'll watch you do it, and then I'll do the next one.
You're gonna watch me send out a blast to the email list.
There you go.
With the feeling wheel.
Now you understand what the mission is.
And then after that, the next email you're gonna send.
The next one, yes.
Make sure you use some AI now to get your English right. I know.
Well.
Anyway, it has been a great night. Yeah. I'm glad y'all hung with us for as long as you did. I think we went a little over tonight, a good little bit, but I think the conversation warranted that, and I'm okay with that.
Visual learner, absolutely, B.
Mm-hmm.
Visual learner.
He liked watching me do a lot.
Yeah.
Wow, he watched me do a lot.
Yep.
Anyway, we'll see y'all next week. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to the email list. And are we gonna say? I don't know. We might not. Next Thursday's your birthday.
No, it's not.
It's not?
No.
When is it Friday?
Yeah. It's Friday.
The 12th is Friday?
It's one day next week for sure.
But it's not Thursday.
No, I don't think so.
Next Friday is Lemoyne's birthday. Yep. So I don't know if we'll be able to do a podcast on Thursday. Probably not.
Yeah.
But anyway, happy early birthday to Lemoyne.
Put the what you call it in there.
What? Inloveandbusiness.com?
Yeah.
Man. There it is. There you go. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good night. We'll see y'all maybe next week.
Yep.
Maybe not.
Maybe not.